Hello, my name is Aria, and this is the story of how my journey to learn English became an adventure I will never forget. A year ago, I arrived in New York City with a suitcase full of dreams and a heart full of fear. I was nervous because I didn't speak English well. I only knew basic words and short phrases like hello, how are you, and thank you. But I had a goal: to learn English and to speak fluently so I could study, work, and make new friends. My first day in New York was full of excitement. The city was huge and full of people speaking English everywhere. I was staying in a small student apartment with two girls from Brazil and Japan. They also came to America to learn English, just like me. On our first evening, we all sat together in the kitchen, trying to speak English. We laughed, we made mistakes, and we helped each other find the right words. It was simple, but it was the start of my English-speaking journey. That night, I decided something important. I will speak English every day, even if I make mistakes. I knew I couldn't learn if I stayed quiet. I had to use the language to understand it better and feel more confident. So, I made a promise to myself that changed everything. Speak. Practice. Don't be afraid. Stay with me as I take you through my story of learning English in the real world. And if you're on the same journey, remember, you can learn too. Just keep going. The next morning, I stepped outside with a small notebook in my bag and courage in my heart. I went to a local coffee shop near my apartment. It was a simple place with warm lights and the smell of fresh coffee. I walked up to the counter, nervous but ready to try. "Can I have a coffee, please?" I asked slowly. The barista smiled and asked, "What size?" I froze for a second. I didn't understand what she meant. I looked around, pointed at a cup, and said, "Medium." She smiled again and said, "Got it." That small moment gave me a big boost of confidence. I spoke English to a real person, and it worked. I understood just enough, and I didn't give up, even when I got confused. That's when I learned one of the most powerful lessons in learning English. Use the language in real situations. I started doing this every day. At the grocery store, I read the labels. On the subway, I listened to conversations. At the park, I tried to talk to people walking their dogs. And in the evenings, I would write new words in my notebook. I wasn't just learning English from books. I was living the language and letting it become part of my daily life. If you're afraid of speaking, just remember, every small conversation is a big step forward. A week later, something surprising happened. I was sitting on a bench in the park, reading my English notebook. A guy around my age sat next to me. He noticed my notebook and said, "Are you learning English?" I nodded and said, "Yes, I'm trying to improve." He smiled and replied, "That's cool. I'm Jake. I can help if you want." I was shocked. A native speaker offering help just like that? I hesitated, but then thought, this is my chance. So I said, "Thank you. That would be great. And just like that, we started talking a little every day. Jake was patient. When I made mistakes, he didn't laugh or correct me too harshly. Instead, he would repeat what I said the correct way and ask me to try again. He taught me phrases that people really use. Not textbook English, but real, natural, everyday speech. Like instead of saying, "I do not know," he said, "just say, 'I don't know.'" He even gave me a great tip. Don't try to speak perfectly. Just try to connect. That advice changed the way I thought about speaking. I realized that people don't care if your grammar is perfect. They care if you're trying, if you're genuine, and if you're open. Making a friend like Jake made English fun. We laughed, we joked, and I started to feel less nervous when I spoke. After a few weeks of talking with Jake, I wanted to understand more. So, I started watching English movies with subtitles. At first, I watched with English subtitles to connect the words with sound. I chose simple movies, like animations and romantic comedies. These had clear speech and daily conversations. Every night, I'd watch just 10 or 15 minutes and repeat what I heard. One night, a character said, "You've got to be kidding me." I paused the movie, repeated the sentence, and even acted it out. It felt silly, but it worked. I remembered it the next day. When Jake joked about something, I said it to him. "You've got to be kidding me." And he laughed. "Hey, you sound like a native," he said. That moment gave me confidence. I began to enjoy learning. Watching movies wasn't study time anymore. It was fun time. And I wasn't just listening. I was thinking in English. When I watched without subtitles, I started understanding, based on context, expressions, and tone. Slowly, my brain stopped translating and started reacting naturally. And that's the magic of immersion. The more I surrounded myself with real English, the more I felt like I was part of it. The next step for me was speaking. I had spent so much time listening and reading, but speaking was the hardest part. I was afraid of making mistakes or not being understood. But one day, I decided to challenge myself. I joined a local language exchange group. The first time I went, my heart was racing. I was nervous, my palms sweaty, but I knew I had to do it. I introduced myself. "Hi, I'm your name, and I'm learning English." I tried to keep it simple, but the moment I said it, I felt a weight lift. Just saying those words aloud was freeing. The group wasn't perfect, but that's what helped me grow. Everyone was supportive, and mistakes didn't matter. Slowly, I started building confidence, speaking a little more each time. And then, one day, something amazing happened. A woman asked me a question I didn't understand. In the past, I would have panicked or stayed silent, but this time, I smiled and said, "Can you repeat that, please?" She did, and I understood it the second time. That small moment felt huge. I had overcome a fear, and now I was having real conversations. Speaking with others also helped me find new phrases and slang. I'd hear how they said things and try to use those words in my next conversation. every time I spoke, I got better. And that's when I realized the key to fluency wasn't just practice. It was using English in real-life situations. As I continued practicing, I noticed something remarkable. My thinking started to change. English no longer felt like a puzzle I had to solve. It started to feel like a natural part of my life. I could think in English without translating every single word. And that was a breakthrough moment. It was like a light bulb turned on, and everything I had learned started to come together. To this day, I try to use English in my everyday life. Whether it's ordering food at a restaurant, talking to friends online, or watching movies without subtitles, every interaction is a chance to improve. One thing that has helped me immensely is consistency. Practicing English every day, even if it's just for a few minutes, keeps me sharp. I make time to read, listen to podcasts, and have conversations whenever I can. Another key to my progress was setting small goals. Instead of aiming for perfect fluency right away, I set realistic, achievable targets. I focused on learning 10 new words each week, or having a 5-minute conversation in English. Celebrating those small victories kept me motivated, and over time, those small steps added up to significant progress. Learning English is a journey, and it's important to enjoy the process. Now, I want to share something with you. You don't need to be perfect to speak English. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. And just by showing up and practicing, you are making progress. So keep going. Don't let the fear of mistakes hold you back. Embrace the challenges. And keep speaking, reading, and listening. You are already on your way to becoming fluent. As I reflect on my journey, one thing stands out: consistency. It wasn't about memorizing thousands of words or speaking perfectly from day one. It was about making English a part of my daily life. You might be thinking, that sounds easy, but how do I actually do it? Here are a few strategies that worked wonders for me. First, immerse yourself in English. Surround yourself with English content, podcasts, movies, music, and books. The more you hear the language, the more it becomes second nature. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just listen, and over time, the meaning will start to make sense. Second, speak as much as possible. I know it's intimidating at first, but speaking is one of the most important parts of learning. Even if you make mistakes, don't be afraid. I made plenty of them, but every mistake was a step closer to fluency. Another key is to practice with others. Find people to practice with, whether online or in person. Join language groups. Use apps like HelloTalk or Tandem to connect with native speakers. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn through simple conversations. Finally, keep a journal in English. Write about your day, your thoughts, or anything that interests you. This not only helps with writing skills, but also reinforces vocabulary and sentence structure. Plus, it's a great way to track your progress. So, don't wait for the perfect moment to start. You have everything you need to begin right now. Practice every day, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Remember, fluency isn't a destination. It's a journey. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how small. You're capable of more than you think. And every step forward is worth celebrating. Now, as you continue your English journey, I want to leave you with this final thought. The power to improve your English lies in your hands. It's not about waiting for the perfect time or the perfect method. It's about taking action every single day, no matter how small the step. You're already on the right path by watching this video and learning new techniques. But to truly succeed, you need to stay motivated, stay committed, and keep pushing forward. There will be challenges along the way, but that's okay. They're part of the process, and every challenge you overcome brings you closer to your goal. So, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep speaking. If you make it a habit, English will soon feel like a natural part of your life. Don't be afraid to take risks and step out of your comfort zone. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. And remember, this is not just about learning a language. It's about connecting with others, opening new doors, and expanding your horizons. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, brings you closer to your dream of becoming fluent. So, keep going, stay consistent, stay curious, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. The world is waiting for you to speak, and when you do, it will be amazed by what you have to say. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who are on their own journey to mastering English. And check out our other videos for more tips and inspiration. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next one.